Hey guys, Coach Hug here with our Friday lesson, and here we are going over a few games in that tournament that you guys just did. Um, I know we reviewed it right after the game, but I pinpointed, I think, probably the most critical moments that I think you'll see in future tournament games and critical moments that will help your guys' game. I did mainly like one or two moves that were maybe not like the most optimal or like maybe the best move. And then I did one move where it was like, really good move by you guys. And yeah, here we go. So this was, oh yeah, and I want you guys to, I'll pause and etc. These are just puzzles. And I want you guys to guess whose game it was after, preferably the puzzle. But yeah, I'm just going to say a few points about this and then pause. So yeah, this one has, this is a normal Queen's Gambit. Basically, black just played bishop d7, and this is usually not the best move because of a certain reason. And usually, instead of now just saying, a better move would have been c6 or bishop b4. These are usually the better moves in this position. Mainly c6 strengthens the structure. And then bishop b4 is a good way of developing a piece and potentially castling. And you can even probably do bishop b4 c6, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, let's go into... let's pause. And you guys see you have to win a pawn here. Pause. Okay, unpause. The move here is axb5. And you're all like, okay, but that doesn't win a pawn. I mean, they just get the pawn back and they're still up a pawn. But surprisingly, there is a tactic here where you have to find bishop xc4. And it's a beautiful move, and they get their pawn back. And what happens when they take is you have queen a4, a very common check. Queen a4 and queen a5 can win some tactics a lot. And what happens is they can't really go bishop b5, you still win the bishop. And no matter what they do, you do just win the bishop. So they would go like knight fd7, and you would just win the bishop. And this game would continue, and white would really only be better if we look at the pawn structure. They got 4 here, we got 5 here. This isn't isolated, this isn't isolated. Our rook is a little bit more active than their rook. Our pieces are way more active. Their bishop's hemmed in. And they don't have to go, if you're wondering if they go knight bd7. I'm pretty sure they could go queen d7, but, it's still not the best, and yeah, only white's better. So that's the first puzzle. Let's go on to the next one. Same game. And we fast forward a lot. And here we are as black. And I want you guys to find the best move. Maybe to, seal it in. And this one I think is self-explanatory explanation. But yeah, I will pause. Unpause. I know how strong you guys are. I know you guys are looking at this horrible back rank. White is getting cooked, and this queen is so off placed. And I hope you guys found the beautiful move, knight f6. One of you guys did find it, and it was a beautiful move. And what happens here is the queen is hanging, and just back rank mate. They can't even take the queen, because if they take the queen, they get mated. And yeah, that would be all she wrote. I think what happened in the game was g3, and then knight take queen, and they resigned. So, good play. Now let's go into another game. This is now different one of you guys, and you just played e4. And in this structure, if we go back to e5, a better move is d4. You're claiming space advantage, you're having a really constricting position against white, and it is just better to do that instead of e4, and because they can refute it very well. And we'll see how they can. Pause. Unpause. So yeah, basically, I think I think there is one line to look at and see that black is better. Like we can look at cx d5. Well, what happens is black can do ex f3, right? And if all the trades go our way, or all the trades would go our way, black is only better here. An exchange, and they can't really take this because we would take this with check and then win it. So black would be completely winning here, but they do not have to take on d5 is the main thing. What they can do is really just take on e4, and it really is just that clean because after they take with the pawn, you would take here, here, here. You're hitting this twice, and you'd be just completely winning as white. And if we look at a different line, so like let's say they go knight take, we can just go cxd5, and we're still up a pawn, and this would be completely winning. And then let's say I'm pretty sure there's one other line. Oh yeah, and this is the funniest part I find of this puzzle is if you guys go here, right? The best move for black is actually just to go d4. So like I say before, the bad move was e4 because basically as black you're really trying to play to constrict white, and white has this weird structure here, right? And even though this bishop isn't seen much on this diagonal, right? It kind of sees brick. This bishop is seen worse if you have d4 and e5, and you're probably eventually playing for like f5, e4. Develop everything first. And what are they really playing for? Are they really playing for a3, b4? It just does not seem strong. So yeah, that is why e4 does not work. And yes, let's go to a second part in that game. Yes, and this is I know yeah, one of you guys played BC8, and I'm not gonna lie, this is I think this one, and there was one other puzzle for today where I thought it was like very hard to find the best move. Like it was not easy for me to, and this is the thing I do as kind of meh, and I think everyone does it, like almost every chess player, is you struggle with when rooks see each other, right? I think everyone, I meant to say everyone, I think everyone just struggles with this for good reasons, because you're almost like programmed as a chess player to want to have control of the file, and to give that up is very hard. So I know you played rook b c8. I want to see if you guys can find the better move, and yeah, pause. All right, the better move, and it's very clean. It's just trading, and after they take with the rook, you just go rook bc8. And weirdly enough, this knight is just trapped. It can't go here. It can't go here. Can't go here. Where else does it really go? It can't go here because then I'm pretty sure if it goes b4, we do bishop take, queen take, and then we win the bishop. And if they can't go here, I think if they go here, there's a tactic. Let's see. Knight x. Wow. Bishop b4. Okay, this one's probably the hardest thing to see. Because, yeah. Let's say they take, I would be taking here, threatening mate, and threatening this knight, and I'd be completely winning. And basically this bishop is, in this whole game that you play, it's definitely the best piece. Because basically with these light squares, and how much strength you have over them, you're going to give this bishop just to have more control over them and to threaten mate. And we may see that later on. But yeah, this is the better move, and I kind of want to see like easier lines because I think that's the hardest line in my opinion to see. Because basically, if they go queen, you can just almost always two pieces are better than a rook. So yeah, and these bishops will always be stronger than this rook. So that one's easy to see. I think the hardest one, in my opinion, to see is knight x. I do think that's the hardest one. Let's go actually over one more. Because they don't have to take with the rook. Let's say they take with the queen. Then we do get control of the file again, and it's not easy to play. they go rook d1. We now have these monster pieces, and we can now just go c3. It wanted this disgusting move I think I reviewed with you guys, where it wanted bishop x g3, which is just absolutely disgusting and makes almost no sense. But it does make sense in the sense of we're trying to get control of the light squares again, but it is very hard to fully see, because you almost still think queen x d4, but then bishop c7 and like all the squares are only helping black, and you can't really take, because if you ever take, I just take here. These light squares are too strong. But yeah, so there's bishop x g3 there. But yeah, if they do queen x, if we do rook e1, rook e8, I think rook c8 is also like kind of okay. And I'm just saying this because basically, I know you guys have like 90-30 minutes on this game, and when you go rook bc8, it's kind of like that's what you're going for, all those lines. But the reason why they don't work is they can always take here. So if you give up the file, you can almost look at these lines a little bit more clear. But yeah, this is a very instructive game and very instructive critical moment. Let's go to an even cooler moments in this game, because there really is. Let's now go to here. Black to move and destroy. Can you see? Oh, you guys can see. You guys can't see the move. Good, good. But yeah. Let's see if you guys can find it for black. It's a very nice move, and yeah. A hint is basically from that last puzzle. It always mattered in this game about the dark squared bishop, and maybe showing how much pressure it can apply, with also threatening other ideas, if that makes any sense. So yeah, I will pause. Unpause. Basically, you were threatening mate here, right? If the queen or the rook weren't both looking at it. And so what else do you do, right? Well, you apply more pressure, and you're not going to do the bishop xg3 line, which I hope none of you guys are looking at, but you're going to play a nice, cool, and collected bishop c5. You're applying pressure to f2, and if they ever take the bishop, you apply a beautiful, beautiful mate, a back row mate. And that is a nice back row mate. We love to see it. But if you don't do that, right? I actually liked what the opponent did in the game. I think they did like 97, and you did queen x. You can even do like rook x, but still, this is like, it's still completely winning as black. But I did like that they did 97. They didn't just roll over and play queen x c5. But yeah, great move. This is a brilliant bishop c5. And yeah, that was a good move by you guys. Now let's go to last game I wanted to go over. And genuinely, this was probably one of the more, I don't want to say high level, but like more like high level for the opening. I think it's very instructful to play. Oh, let's go to them. Very high level in a lot of the nuances, because honestly, these nuances are not easy to see, and you almost have to have played them a lot or just truly understand the position to see why. And yeah, let's go over. And these are very, very they almost look common, but they're not, because of how. Yeah, let's go. So yeah, I know you played bishop e3 in the game, and it doesn't work, and I'll show why. But I do want you guys to try to see a better move here, because why bishop e3 doesn't work is you always, whenever you play bishop e3, you have to look at knight g4, and basically they just kind of solve all their problems, and it's very hard to play this. I know we went over some lines during the game, and basically, like knight x e6, knight x e3, this is just not enjoyable. This is probably the best line you'd get, but yeah, it's not the most enjoyable. But if we go all the way back, we can kind of see maybe that there are better moves here. Are there? See, I know when we went over, I think we were both looking at like e3, knight b3, rook e1, And surprisingly, these are all slow and not like actually what we want with the position. Surprisingly, we want moves. We want like one or two moves, really one move that still applies pressure. And yeah, this is the second puzzle that I thought was very hard because with this one, it's really like one move that you keep the pressure, and it's not exactly easy to see why. But yeah, let's see if you guys can find it. Pause. Yeah, the best move in this position is knight b db5, and basically you're centralizing a knight. You're making it more active. You're basically saying that I want maybe e4. I want this bishop to be developed later. Also, it's not easy to trade off this knight, and this is the biggest part in my eyes, is that you're threatening a cool like idea. This bishop is a monster in this opening for black, right? And this is I think the basically how you can see playing this in the future is this is a monster for black, but they can always go a7, right? Well, you're preventing a7 right now, and they can still go b6, right? But what happens is if you go a4, all right, you're kind of threatening knight a4, and like if they go like knight a7, you go knight a4. If they like take, you take, and this is just completely better. You're already threatening. Yeah, it's just really good, and you're applying pressure here, and you're gonna win a pawn. But actually, are you? Knight b, queen b3. No, it doesn't like queen b3. Okay, sorry. Let's go. Let's see what else it wants. It wants a b3. Okay. So basically, I think it's saying that this bishop's still hemmed in. I'm actually finally developing this dark square bishop as black, which doesn't happen that often. Or as white, doesn't happen sometimes. But yeah, this would be a really good position. But yeah, this is basically what you're wanting with knight db5. You want to misplace this bishop, and if you put it this diagonal, that's even better. You don't want it. You just don't want to have it ever on this beautiful diagonal on here, and you want to develop this bishop eventually. So yeah, this is how you see it, and yeah, let's go to another game. And also, bishop b3 is just like if you play knight b3, or if you play e3, even though e3 does hurt you a lot, they aren't as necessarily as like devastating as bishop e3. Even though there is this cool line that you can't see with knight x c6, and then knight x, knight x, knight x, rook x, rook x, and you'd be playing this, and basically they have two bishops, you have a knight and bishop, and it's a very equal endgame. It's just white loses most of their advantage. So yeah, that's that puzzle. Let's go to the last puzzle. And from the same game, we go here. And yeah, so here we are. And this one is actually kind of interesting too. And I mean, they're all interesting, but this one's very instructive too. This pin is very annoying. I feel like in a 90 plus 30 game, you're going to be spending so much time calculating how to get rid of this pin or what you're dealing with during the whole thing. And I think one way to look at it is before, and that's what you play in the game. But sadly, this kind of just solves all their problems. They can just go here, and they just basically have so much pressure, and you're not really unpinning. There is just better moves than before. And it's kind of like you need to find a pawn push, right? It's almost like you want to have a pawn push, and without before, what other pawn pushes do you have, or what other moves can you really do? What plan can you make, right? Well, it's actually very insightful. Basically, I went very in deep in this position with and without, and I know I think when I was when I was looking at this with you, I looked at King H1, and King H1 does work. It's still around the same equality, and we'll go over that one. But also another one that's interesting, and we'll go over this one because I think this one's kind of makes more sense, but is also a little confusing. Is Knight BD1, and basically with this one, you're saying, okay, but you can never take this pawn because I can just go back, and if you go back, I just take here, and then basically you would be having activity for right, for this pin, and basically you're probably gonna go king h1 f5 again, and this knight on c3 is, or on d5 is still preventing the queen from applying pressure to this knight, which is basically saving you from really losing this piece. And basically you would continue off here, like they would basically go rook c8, you go queen b1, and you would just continue off playing like this. But I think maybe an easier way to look at this is, instead of that, also, like, let's say if they go like a7, right? This is actually another line I looked at, was because this is also an optimal move for black, right? You would actually have, you could do a repetition if they would go for it, but you could go knight f4, right? And if they go here, you go back to d5, and still you're preventing the queen from coming in, and they would go back, maybe go back to g6, you would go knight f4, and this would potentially be a draw. But if maybe you wouldn't want to draw, a better line would maybe be, I think you can go king h1 here. Or no, it's probably smarter to go knight f4, bishop f5, then king h1. No, okay, wait. I know, I saw this. What was it? It was it knight c3? No, because knight b4 happens. See, yeah, I'm going in depth with this position. Let's actually look at the engine real quick for a second. Because it basically wants knight f4, knight d5. But there was one way I was like saying, okay, but let's say we don't want to, let's say we want to keep playing 2 as white. Yeah, it was knight d c3. Wanting to put one of these knights on c3 because this knight's pinned. And basically you're applying new pressure, and you're wanting to say, okay, I can finally move my queen, right? Like they go h6, you can even go like queen d2, and look, the pin's gone, right? And that's very instructive, but that is one way to do it. I do like this knight f4 idea. It just seems more concrete, and I'm really not liking my position as white, even though it's equal. But if you're just wanting to play on, and it's really not that bad, you just go knight d c3, they go whatever move, you go here, and you would just continue playing. But I did like king h1 way more than all these complications, because what happens is, what I want, right, is after king h1, and they go, like, let's say they even go bishop a7 again, what I want is I want f4. And this is the pawn push I think you will always prefer over the b4, and you're basically threatening f5 to clean off that pin, and you're getting really, like, a lot of what you want with this position. Your king is really safe on h1. Your rook is potentially going to open on the f-file. They would maybe have to go, like, knight b4, here. You can even maybe get g4, and, it's a great position. But let's say they didn't go knight b4, or they don't have to. They can go like knight d4. We get f5. Look, and we just completely stopped their push, and this is a really good position. Wait, why can't they go knight x5? Oh wow, that's just disgusting. That's disgusting. Yeah, I don't exactly fully expect you guys to get all of this line, but I'm not even sure I would find this line, but that is disgusting. Basically, we're saying that this is just winning, because if they go queen c8, you actually have a cool finish here, which would be like here, and you're threatening. Well, you aren't fully threatening mate, but like after queen e6, rook f1, just threatening mate here, threatening checkmate. Queen xe2, knight xe8. And you are still protecting, wow, from here. Okay, we went way too deep. But that is a line. I wouldn't expect that. Maybe f5. Maybe you would even just go like g4, threatening f5. And again, we don't have to deal with all that nonsense. But wait, why? It's so painful. Yeah, and you are okay. Yeah. Anyways, yeah, that's ideas. But yeah, f4. It's a very clean move, and but I'm gonna see like maybe an easier thing to see. We could go e3, and basically e3, we're booting away the knights, and if it goes to f5, I don't think we're actually that worried, and I think we can even unpin, right? Like we can even go g4. Wow, that's disgusting. Because we're protecting this twice. Go knight h6, f5, we trap it. take, and that bishop is trapped. Wow, okay, that's beautiful. Here, f5, knight take here, bishop's trapped. That's a good way to win it. But yeah, other than that, I think the main instructive thing is seeing king h1 to remove out of this pin, but also like you're eventually wanting a pawn push, and instead of b4, f4 is probably more clean, right? And you can't go f4 because this king's on g2. And instead, if you don't maybe want to play that line, or this move comes out clear to you, then knight b d1 is just as solid. They're both very solid moves, and yeah, those are just moves to look at. And I hope you guys learned from all these games and enjoy these critical moments. And I hope you guys enjoy what you guys are playing. Hopefully you guys are doing like Rapid, maybe Team Blitz or something. But if you guys want to do Bug House, do Bug House. But yeah, I will see you guys next Thursday, and I think we're going to go over a few more tournament critical moments, but we may start another lesson in chess structures, and it will either be... No, it will be the London. I was going to do Caro, but we'll do Caro later, Carocon later, so it will be London. And yeah, I'll see you guys then. Hope you guys have a good weekend. Coach Hug, out.